We can save this for. All right, for now on, it's recording.
Okay. So I open my terminal
Mm-hmm.
and then I go to find out where I am.
So remember, to find out where you are, you type in the command pwd.
Yeah. Hold on, my keyboard is failing me. All right. Bailey, please go do that somewhere else. Okay. And then I want it to list the things that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to go to, let's see, where do we save it? I know it's like Git, but did you save it probably under desktop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's there? Oh, is it that one, Carlos Session?
Mm-hmm.
No. So, wait.
Remember, if you press tab as well, it auto completes it for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to. So I must name it if I want to go into the folder, but if I want to back out, it's just a double dot, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh, there you
Well, remember,
go.
so
You
lesson underscore 1.js is actually a file,
the
but
files.
full session is a folder. Notice how there's a
I open it.
dot. No, you went to want to open lesson one.
Yeah. So then I
Lesson one, but lesson one isn't a file. It's
okay.
it's a, I mean, it's not a directory, it's a file. So what you need to do is instead travel to full session, because full session is where it's at.
Wait, why?
I mean, you can open it from there on, but you'll have lesson one available as well. And you also want to travel into full session because you'll be inside the Git repository.
You're right. It did. I pressed tab and it did the /.
Mm-hmm. That just means like think of it like if you want to continue to go into it, like if you do full sessions, and then you could do slash Claudia. So go back one.
Does the
No,
space?
no, no, do forward slash.
Oh wait.
No, do dot dot forward slash
Oh,
dot dot
and you're
again.
taking the place.
And
What?
taking back two locations backwards.
That? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. I just thought like remember when you would do the little emojis.
Oh, that's funny. So that takes you two
Oh
locations
shit! I
backwards.
forget you're recording this.
It's all good. It's, remember, it goes on a private YouTube channel.
Yeah, until you get mad at me and you make it public.
So now do CD full session.
Did I just? Oh, you just made me go back
Backwards two locations.
2 times.
Uh-huh.
I was watching this video where it said that you could do like the dot dot / and then wherever else you want to go.
Exactly. If you know the address, then you can go anywhere in the computer. So like that's what, look, we're gonna.
To where like, because you went back 2 places. So if
Mhm.
I wanted to go back 2 places and then into another folder,
You can do that as well.
dot dot / dot
Dot
dot. then slash and then the name, or could I just
Yeah,
once?
you need to do the forward slash every time because that tells that it's a new like address. If you think about it, like so think the dot dot, it's like
Yeah.
taking one step backwards and then it stops again, but then it's the forward slash, which is the next when you do the forward slash, it's the next step you wanted the terminal to do. So
I
you
see.
do dot dot again and it goes backwards. So
So I
you know
can
if
take a jump from one thing to another. I have to add every single step of the way,
you
basically.
want to jump all the way to the root, just
Yeah,
do CD and enter.
but
But
that's
then
the only way.
that's
Jump
the only
back.
way.
Okay.
Correct.
I
To
see.
jump all the way to like when we first started and like you go like slash desktop slash Claudia set.
You do kind of have to keep track of where you are then.
Well, the thing is, like how you memorize where this file is, right? In that sense, like the address, like you have to go to the desktop, find Carlos session, then full session, then Claudia session, right?
Yeah, but now I have to list it every time to see. I can't just track it like that.
So here, let me show you something real quick. I'm gonna request controls. All right. So this is what I mean, right? If you do the CD by itself, it takes you all the way to the root level at the beginning, and you can still continue to go backwards. Now it's just users, and you can still continue to go backwards. And I think you can do one more. And now you're really in like, oh no, you can't go anymore.
Also, can I share my other screen? Because somehow I made my folder super big while I was playing with the terminal.
okay. So to do that, just when you share the screen button, change the screen number.
I'll bet. Oh, yeah, there you
So this is screen 2, switch it to screen 1. Yep.
go. Look at how big I made my folders. Could I have
Oh,
the
there's no way you could have done that through the terminal. This is a UI thing. So this has to do with you going into your settings and decreasing the size of the icons.
then how did I do that? All right, maybe it wasn't me. Okay. Are we back to the other place?
So right now let me take it back over. We are,
What's up? Wait, what did I
there we
do? Am
go.
I sharing both screens now?
No, just the terminal one.
Oh,
Just,
wait.
just screen 2. The right one. You're sharing the right one with me right now.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So PWD is where we're at. Hold on. There we go. Now I got control. And now you do the LS just to make sure what's in it, right? So remember to get to your current all the way forward, you do CD, users, and then I think I forgot what it is. It's not that one, it's actually this one. So Claudia H. Brady. And then I can do
Desktop.
desktop. And then I
Is
know
it
it's called Carlos session. And then I know it's a full session. And then I know it's Claudia session. And here's the cool part. If so now I told to do one thing, right? And that's the address of that location. But I can have it do multiple commands. And then I do and open it up.
you can do that?
Yes, you can create a string of commands.
You can use those signs on the terminal?
Yes. What did it froze on me? Can you still hear me? There we go.
Sorry, I
Can
dropped
you-
the.
You're all good. Can you reshare your screen?
Oh yeah.
There we go. I'm gonna request controls again.
Oh yeah.
All right. Turn that off. There we go. I'm in back again. So you can do multiple items, right? So like, for example, just because I know where it is, I can do again and CD into, well, CD into what's it called? Would it be, let me remember, give me a second. I don't remember the exact patterns. Let me look it up on Git.
7 loops.
Yes, 7 loops.
Underscore loops.
Underscore loops, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't think it's gonna work. But
What is the double ampersand? Sorry.
the end
Amper.
symbol.
Yeah.
So think of it like this, right? So you're telling it to change into this directory address, and that just means and, but you have to do double. That's just how the syntax works. There's no real explanation. That's just how whoever wrote the terminal decided to do and. So now now you can just enter it, and then it'll do everything by itself.
Hey. Hold on.
There you go. So now it opened it up. Oh, it's called session_1.
What?
No, yeah, it was called 7 loops. 7 loops. So 7 loops is the name of the file, but the folder is called session_1. So
I
always
did-
think, what's that?
That's why it didn't work.
That's why it didn't work. Yeah. I was like, I know, yeah. So that's why I couldn't remember exactly what it was called. But so now this terminal, in a sense, is now like trashed because you're not gonna use it anymore. We have a terminal here in VS Code.
Okay.
So now, just to make sure we're in the right location, now we're gonna CD change into directory for session1. And we're gonna run 7 loops. So it didn't do anything, but it did change into session1. This is what it says right here, session1. And that's because, as you mentioned, you didn't comment out the functions.
No.
So since nothing is being called, let's maximize this. There we go. So since nothing is being called, let me split this. All right, so we can look at the top and the bottom together at the same time. So this while loop,
How'd you do that again?
I'll show you. But when you do this, you also are what's it called, manipulating the same file twice. I mean, at the same time. So if you change something up, it'll make it both. It's not like a version control, it's the exact same file twice.
Okay.
So you right click and you say split left, split down, split up, split right. and I want it to split to the left, but it doesn't split it. It just creates a new screen with the exact same file. So look, if I write, see, notice how line 78 came up,
Yeah.
and it's doing it, and it's the exact same file. So don't think of it as two separate files, the exact same file.
Okay.
But to make sure you don't make any mistakes, how like I'm just like, I guess like my brain like is better on the left side to keep track of stuff like that, and I read better on the right. So I make changes only on the left, but you'll find out which side of you like better to do it on.
Oh, fun. Okay.
So
I didn't get
you,
very.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get very far.
Oh, no worries. That's this is actually the double the value.
We did that one
Good.
together.
We did that one together, and the while loop. Like this one, it seems like kind of annoying in a sense, doesn't it?
I
Like
know it.
it's yeah. I mean, I don't personally don't like it. It's just personal choice, but it's you'll see it everywhere.
Oh,
From
like the
other,
while loop you made? I thought you knew
yeah.
what I did. I was like, I don't know. Why is it annoying?
No, I'm saying like it just feels kind of pointless in a
Why?
sense. I don't know. It's just I mean it's a different way to write it, but this is like in a sense I feel like the for loops are like the old school way. I don't know.
I could see that. I liked the while loop because I felt like it was more condensed.
Yeah, and this is the exact same response from other people that I like from when I did the boot camps and all that. People prefer the while loops, and some people prefer the do while loops, and then there's people who like the for off loops. It
I
really
did
comes down. It really comes down to preference.
now that
So,
you say it, I did see that it does the same thing but backwards, like in action.
what do you mean?
Like it one of them I think the while loop executes
Hmm.
first and then initializes. No, I don't remember. I mean, if I look at my notes, I will. Let me go do that.
Okay.
Oh, it says that. No, never mind. I'm confusing the while, the do while, and the what is this one? For loop. Never mind. I did have a question though when I was
Hmm.
watching the videos between the while loop and the do while loop.
Hmm.
Why would you want? Because the while loop it says it's check the conditions and then it executes the block. And then
Hmm.
while it says it's just the reverse. Why
Hmm.
do you want the reverse?
It's just
Like, why would
that
you use one over the other?
why
Like, in what circumstances?
it it's a dealer's choice on that one. There's no real reason.
So you can use either one.
You can use any of these loops and it'll do the exact same thing. But the reason why like I want you to like play with them is because just like I have preference for loops and maps, other developers have preference for do while loop. And like how you found while loops more natural. Now you have a preference for while loops, which means when you write your code, you do it in while. But when you start working with other people, they'll bring in their preferences. So it's just for you to understand like the different loops and not focus so much on that chunk of code, but just understanding what it's doing. And then when you start going online on Stack Overflow and like reading other people's answers, once again, people will choose for loops, while loops, do while, whichever their actual preference is. But there's no real reason to choose one or the other. It's just preference.
They all do the same thing.
They all do ultimately the exact same thing.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like I said, like it's my preference is for loops and maps. So, but I have no real reason other than just like yourself, it just felt more natural. But like, Yeah, but some documentation has it like while or do while. And then instead of like being like, I don't understand what that means, I'm gonna find something that fits what I know.
Yeah.
This allows you to just continue reading whatever source you found and understand it. And instead of doing the while loop, you just do a for loop for yourself, or vice versa.
Just choose your preference.
Yeah, that's really it.
I feel you. Okay.
So you did the while loop, and then to uncomment it, it's control, and then the /. Oh, wait, what would be command for you? Yep. So it would be command and / for you. And notice if I do that, command / again, it comments it back out. And if I don't do it, we'll do it again and uncomments it. You want to try yourself?
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I don't actually have to do the 2 /.
You don't. So right now it's commented out and it's not doing anything, but do command / again.
But for example, in a new line, if I did that, oh, cool.
Yeah. And you can like go to line 30 on the left side and then do it there. You commented out that piece of code.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Instead of doing the / twice.
Yeah.
And you do it like that way, and it automatically creates a space. That way, it's just organized. But this is a VS Code thing only, so don't use it somewhere outside. This is a VS Code shortcut. So let's comment out the while loop, and then we can run it.
Like the whole? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's the wrong one. We look at line 23.
I hear it. It has while in it. There you go.
All right. Now, let's see. Nope. Oh, let me check over. Here's see. It's not that one. There we go. All right. So now do control tilde.
We're at the end?
Yeah, right now. I'm gonna type in control tilde, and it'll take you straight to the terminal. So tilde is the squiggly line before the one on your tab. See?
Where am I?
Now it brings you down to the terminal. So do it again, and it brings you back up to the code. No, control tilde.
At the same time?
At the same time, yes.
Oh,
there you go. Now you're back on the code, and then control tilde, you're back on the terminal.
Okay, I see. Let's erase my mistake.
So these are shortcuts. Like the idea is that eventually you'll find the mouse annoying to code.
No, wait. No, wait. Oh, what did I just do?
There you go. Control tilde.
We want to press
Run the program. Yes.
Pablo.
There you go. Good job.
Wait.
Values is not defined. Okay, just don't worry. There's an error.
There is.
There is. So let me kind of walk you through it. So the biggest thing, I'm glad there's an error. The biggest thing about developers when they first start is that they don't know how to read errors.
Right.
Okay, so let's see what's happening right here. So 7 loops on line 72. Line 72. There's a console.log, while loops, and values. Now, the error saying values is not defined. So this values has nothing in it. No. So let's find out why. Values was a global variable. Oh, and here's why. Because this got changed to array.
Yeah,
instead of values. So now this values does not exist. So kind of,
to array.
yeah, you change it to array because, yep. All right, now save it and then go to your terminal and run it again.
How do I save it?
Let me try something real quick. Is it-
I didn't realize I had to save my code.
How is it autosave on this for
Yeah.
some odd reason? Is it on?
Oh, is it not?
I think
Okay.
it might be.
It is. I thought it was part of the editor. Like,
No, it's usually man save. I don't see. So notice how there's a dot here.
mhm.
That means that means that like it's usually when there's a dot here, but it's on but if it's on the file, it means that it's not saved, or because up here it's not saved. But I think it's auto saving. Let me try. Let me do something bad.
Don't do it.
It is an autosave.
How do you,
So
what did you do?
I removed the parentheses,
Oh, I see.
so it broke. So let's find out. Let's once again read through it because you have to learn how to read the errors because this is the scariest part, dealing with the errors, because it looks like nonsense in a sense. But once again, the error came from line 72 here, and it actually points you at the piece of code where it is. And syntax error missing parentheses after argument list. And there you go. The error's been fixed. And this is an autosave. It's kind of nice. But later on when you move to different like machines and it doesn't autosave, you don't run into an error. You just make sure to always save your file. But you'll deal with that later on. But you don't have to deal with it on your own personal computer, which is kind of nice. So now let's run it. Actually, you run it.
Okay. And,
Undefined. Okay, so let's figure out why.
I did it wrong. Mm,
Yes. So here's what's happening.
Well, I
You're,
wasn't gonna put that times two, but then I saw it above and I was like, well, why not? And
right. But
yeah,
this actually should work. But you still didn't pass into the new array, which was the idea of it. But I feel like this should work still. Let me change it to what it should be real quick. Oh, well, here's why it doesn't work. Command C. Now, new array is empty.
yes.
And the actual argument or the array that we're passing through is this array. Right?
Also should be array.
Yeah, but it should be array instead.
Oh, because that's what we're defining below.
Uh-huh.
The new
Mm-hmm.
array. Should array.
And it's actually not less than 10, because remember, what's it called? What if you have 100 items? So what we actually have to do
It's the
is while I is not greater, but less than
the length,
correct
length,
array.
dot length.
Mm-hmm. So because this array, the array we earlier defined
First one.
is not actually wasn't even 10. So that means that if you would have done 10, then it would have done, and there's only 5 values, it would have done 5 more values that it's undefined.
I mean, I can't just make shit up. I see, it makes sense. I actually do have to follow the global array.
Correct, yes. Well, not the global array. Whatever the value is. It just happens to be a global array. Because later on, we're gonna call functions within functions.
That's the one I'm referencing.
This is the one you're representing currently. But it doesn't have to be a global value. Because for example, right, I can do, let me do in a different syntax so you can get used to everything. One, I'm gonna pass no values into it, and then I'm gonna call don't worry about that. I'm just gonna prove a point right now.
I don't
Call
know.
and then I'm gonna call what's it called? Test. Where's the undefined? Wait, test two. Test two. Let me just do it this way. See, even this is like basic stuff, but even like I struggle with little basic stuff. So it's forever a learning process. Don't ever feel like you have to learn everything at once.
Hello.
Something's not working. Doesn't matter. The point is, what this is doing is that it's calling this function up here, right? And then this will return whatever the value is. But I think it has to do with your node installation, but don't worry about this because you're not really there yet. But this async is just saying that you have to wait for this function to resolve in order to
do that one.
to continue. Exactly. So it goes this function, then this function, and then it goes back here. But you don't have to have a global variable. So sometimes you'll just pass in, for example, if I want to send a like a information to my Google Firebase like database, I have to first retrieve it from a form, right? And then that form has to send it to another function. And that function then checks that, like, say, for example, the email is an actual email and the phone numbers actually fits the right amount of numbers, all that little stuff, right? So when that gets verified, then I sent like a what is it? The data type, not the dictionary, it's not called dictionary here, the object into the database. So now I did 1 to retrieve it, 2 to verify it, and 3 to send it to the database. But there was a traveling of the exact same object. So remember the objects is this data type right here.
Yeah.
And then that's what I would send to multiple different functions. So there'll be a travel points.
Okay.
So back to the loops. So now that we have this, it will do I, but we're not trying to get I. Remember, we're trying to get the values of this, because if we do I, this is I right here.
Yeah.
I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we want to do is push it to the new array. And you have to get the actual, is the index value of it. So the index would be, when I is 0, it's 1. When it's 1, it's 2. Because if you notice here, when we first did it on the terminal now, notice how it's doubling this,
Yeah.
but it starts at 0. Because
Yeah.
you're doing the I values, not the values
Array.
in the array. So not mu. So it'll be new array that push, and it'll be array of I times 2. But this,
we're referencing the array and what's inside, specifically just the index.
Exactly. So you're referencing the value of the index. I is the index.
So would it still start at 0 though?
Yes, because I is set to 0, and you're starting, because you can start at, let's say, 3, right? And it'll start at 3,
Yeah.
and then it'll stop itself when it reaches, when it's less than the length of it. And the reason why it's less than the length is because since it starts at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of being 1, 2, 3, 5, right?
Yeah.
So it should stop at 1 item less than the length. But if you want to do less than or equal to, there's another way of doing this syntax. -1. Because when I is less than or equal to the length of the array, because the length of the array is 5. So when it reaches, so it goes, it goes, okay, 0, it goes, starts at 0, then adds 1, right? Then it goes on, continues to add 1, and then it stops when it's at the 1 minus the length of the array.
That makes sense.
Both do the exact same thing. People prefer different ways. It's all comes as a preference. I'm sorry?
Just because of that equals.
Yes, so less than or equal to.
That makes sense.
All right, so now we push the values into the new array. What should be the next step?
What do you mean first? That's it, no?
No. Oh, sure, let's run it. Also, here's another little shortcut. If you press up, it does the last command for you.
That's fun.
All right.
You cycle through them?
Yep, you can cycle through them. All right, go ahead and run the program.
Oh.
If you press up, it does it for you because the last command.
I want to practice.
There you go.
Ooh.
Now, why would it be undefined? So we're console logging.
Oh yeah, because we haven't canceled logged.
Right, exactly. We haven't console logged anything in the actual function.
Yeah.
So where should I do it?
Below.
Go ahead and take over.
Well, I had it just at the start. But now I don't think that was right. So we'll put it. Do you not need a semicolon here?
You do, but you don't. That one's another. It's good habit to put the semicolon. I don't use it just because I'm lazy. It's only when I go back and go and push my code to production, then I go through the semicolons. But it once again, it's a preference thing. But it makes your code more readable and it avoids bugs in the long term. So I advise to use the semicolons. I'm really bad at it.
So I guess this is the part where I get confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which one I'm ultimately calling. Would it be new array?
Yes, because we're trying to return the new array.
Okay. So would be the one I define.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, you said it.
All right, now run the program.
I don't think I quite got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that? I thought the index plus plus was work your way up the index.
Mm-hmm. But there's also something else that I changed.
That you did?
Mm-hmm.
The index you start at 3.
Mm-hmm. So revert it back to what you need it to be. Now I just want you to print out when it's completed though.
Oh, I thought it was.
So you notice how it does 2, then 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah.
I just want the last one.
Okay. Mm. So we just want the last one, then we don't have to start at the beginning.
You do. So let me explain what's happening. Because this has to do with the loop and scope again. So this will do everything that's inside the loop as long as it's less than the array of length. Right? So it goes, all right, first step inside this loop is push this value into the new array, then add 1 to the 2i, and then console log it. All right, next, boom. So then goes again, console logs it.
Yeah.
Right? So now that in order to avoid this, because you only want the final value. You leave it outside the scope of the loop, so it only does it once.
Because it runs through it all.
Oh, correct. It runs it. Let me do it back one more time so we can copy it. Command copy. Command forward. No, it's not gonna work here. Right, so it runs it each time. Anything that's inside the loop, as long as this condition hasn't been met, it will do it. So Command V. So now what's happening is that it's pushing all of these values to the new array, adding one. Once the loop is complete, right, then it moves on to the next line of code. And now if we run the program, it will only do the last one.
Why does it still show undefined?
It's a JavaScript thing.
Really?
It has to do with the fact that you're not returning anything. You're console logging instead. But if I do instead,
I do remember that return phrase. So then should I be using return instead?
yes, as long as you console log the call. Because if I make the call by itself,
Yeah, no, it's not gonna work.
no, it's not gonna work.
I have to do that in order for it to print, right?
Uh-huh. Now it doesn't work, but check this out. I make the call, and instead I console.log. It works. This is a difference that you need to learn, but it will make more sense as you learn the other items.
So you can use console log on either side, is what you're saying.
Correct. As
Happy.
long as you make the call properly. But since console log, all it's doing is putting the items into the terminal, you can do another console log here again, and it won't matter.
Yeah, that is better than not. Okay. That's,
And it'll still return the undefined because nothing is being returned.
mhm.
So I'm gonna send you a video later on the differences between return and console log, because it is something that you will have to learn, but it's not a little bit on the focus right now. Right now, we're just trying to get like the logic and for you to see the patterns first, and then get into the real nitty gritty of like this actual syntax. Because there's the way that I was taught it was syntax first, and then like the patterns, and it, for me it was a little bit like harder because like the syntax makes no sense because I didn't understand what the end goal was.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
get it. Yeah, girl. Oh, I didn't- All right, thank you. Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Okay.
All right. So just for now on, just for like until I send you that video, you understand the difference between return and console log. We're gonna stick in console log because it's the simplest, but you always get this undefined at the very end.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So a do while loop. Let's see. I want you to watch the video before I, quote unquote give you the answer.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's do a quick exercise. Since now you understand the pattern of the while loop, what I want you to do is create session 3 folder.
Okay.
And then create a new file called exercise underscore 3.js. And I want you to do it all in the terminal.
Exercise underscore what?
3. It is just the name is really irrelevant, just the file name .js.
Okay. So, oh,
So I'll give you a first hint.
no, hold on.
Okay.
I think I can. Where did you want me to put it? Like under
I want
Claudius?
you to on the Claudia session, correct? Because that way we can put it on, keep it on a tracking level on Git.
Hold on. Don't fret. I got this. No. Wait,
Okay, before you do that,
hold on. Let
okay,
me try really quick before I lose it all.
okay.
Okay. No. Is a directory same thing as a folder?
Yes,
Okay. And do I have to name it?
yes. So it'd be this command and then name.
Okay. Yeah. And then you said. I mean, how do you spell exercise?
Well, you have to make a file, not a folder.
Oh, wait, what? You said to make a folder and then a file in that folder.
Correct, correct.
Okay, hold on. How do I make it smaller?
Um, do command escape maybe, or just escape.
Try.
Um, actually don't know how to do it in Mac. Thought it would keep it like Windows, where you can see it. Give me a second. Let me try something. There it is. Okay, so you go up to the mouse up here, and then you can minimize it right here.
Oh, let's see.
All
Okay.
right, now I want you to do it.
Oh,
There we go. Learned something new about Macs today.
Hmm. Right here. Look at my little cheat sheet. Okay, that's right. It was a creepy one,
Yeah, I thought so too.
right?
Yeah.
Creepy. Okay, so you want it. How do you spell exercise?
Uh,
X.
I think so. Yeah.
And then 3. Did
Okay.
I did it.
But why is it not on the side?
What?
Why is it not on next to session 1, session 2 on your side?
Because I didn't code it? I don't know. Because
So
I
it all
didn't
has
push it.
no.
No, that's from Git.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know.
Okay. So let's go back through your terminal. Let's see what you did instead of just me fixing it. So it's pretty simple to watch your pattern, right? So we started here, session 1. Because you checked what was in it. You did a list. You went back one. Now you're inside Claudia session. Claudia session. Then you went back one more. Then you went to full session.
I went back.
Now, yeah, you went one directory, one back too much. So now you can now outside of this file.
I can move it. I can move it though.
Yes, you can. You know how?
Yes.
Oh my God, I would. You and I struggle with moving this. I tend to just delete them and do it again.
Give me just a second to read this real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so
This is the hard part.
wait, yeah, 2. Is it case sensitive? It is, right?
It is, yeah.
2. I think.
Go for it. Press enter. Not do ls and check, see if it moved.
No. Oh, I don't see it up there. Claudia Sessions.
So you actually renamed it instead?
Oh, okay. What did I move from?
So now do the exact same thing but backwards and rename it back to exercise underscore 3JS before you make a move. Because now it's a directory. No, not actually. Okay, let me show you what this looks like first before you do anything.
Finder?
Finder or oh, there we go. Now I have access.
I could just have it listed for me, right?
Yeah, but this is what it looks like now. Can you pull Finder to my screen? So okay, we're going to desktop. And
Oh man, I need to clean it up. Don't look at my stuff.
no worries. Let's do something like this instead. There you go, Carlos session. Full session. Session 3.
Okay, that's why.
See, but look at this. All right.
Oh, I need to
Claudia
close it.
session is it's a document, but it has no extension. So this becomes a text file instead of a JavaScript file,
Sad.
right? And so I need you to revert it back to a JavaScript file using this exact same command, but in reverse.
Okay.
So let's go back over here.
So I need you to move Claudia session. To exercise.
Now do ls. Go back to Finder and it'll look different too. Session 3. See now it's extra.js, and then sees the kind, says JavaScript script. The previous one only said document.
Yeah, I opened the web page.
Yeah, because JavaScript runs natively on the browser, and then Node.js pretends it's a browser. But I need you to move session 3 into Claudia session.
Okay. Oh, I see what I did. Right? That's why. Okay, I see. What I need to do is,
What you need to do is basically drag it up to Claudia session, but in the terminal.
yes, but how do I drag it? I thought I had done it. Okay, so if it's not move exercise 3. Oh, but I did JS. That's why. So I just moved
But that renames it.
that, renamed it. The
Mm-hmm.
MV? No, hold on. What if I did? When I use MV, it's always gonna rename it?
Nope.
No, so it's just what I moved.
But
Okay.
you moved it.
What?
Think of the address.
Right, I moved the
Well,
J
here's the thing. Remember? Let me take over real quick.
Okay.
This is where you are right now in the terminal. This is where you're at.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So, in a good way to tell that, look how it's right here. Let me take over real quick.
Okay.
See, this is oh boy, struggling. This
What?
says session. I try to say session and say at the same time.
Okay, say it again. That was what?
So this says session 3, right? And then this says full session. All right. So this gives you a hint of where you're located.
Okay.
So if you wanted to move, say for example, just the file, right? what is it called? Session 3. You would do MV exercise.js, and then you do the root, and then what is it? A very specific command.
Sorry.
You're good. So this stands for the current location of where you're at. Just this right here, right? This is for the current one. So you do ...
Wait, what?
slash this little thing right here.
Uh-huh.
It's a command. So instead of type, because you can also do this.
What does that do?
You can do it this way. Users / Claudia, right? And do that entire address, right?
Yeah.
That's pointless. That takes too much time, right? So what this does, it says start on my current location.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So now the terminal knows, okay, start at this location. I go, okay, now we're starting at this location. I want you to go back one. And then full session.
Oh, I have to give it the full address.
So start at my location, go back one, full session. And now we go, if we do enter, we use it to permission denied. Okay.
It's renaming it. Maybe.
So is it sudo? All right, type in your Apple password.
Oh, at the end of it does say technically the file is being moved, but from a practical perspective, this command is actually renaming the file. So maybe I don't know. Oh, what do you want?
Your Apple password, to type it in. And I'll show you what's happening right now.
Like,
so this sudo command right here, when you do sudo,
like
you're letting the term, right, your computer password.
Okay.
Let me, well, before you do that, let me explain what's happening. It won't show anything. The sudo command is saying I am the actual owner of this computer, right? And I'm telling you to move this file to this address, right? Because only you will know this password, right? And this is actually, like, say for example, right, this 7 loops file right here, if you move it outside and you come back and run your code, and it will break. But this you give the computer acknowledgement that it's you, the owner, making a change in the addresses. And that's where the sudo command comes from. So every time you open up a new terminal and you do a sudo, then it will prompt you to put in the password, and the password won't even like show like ****. It won't even show a length. You have to, like, for example, right? Let's say your password is 1234. It won't show ****, or any symbol that says password. It won't even make a move.
It won't hold space.
They won't do anything at all. But the computer knows you're typing it in. It's just a privacy thing that the terminal does. That we have somebody next to you, they can't tell the length or what's in it.
Right. So the sudo part you typed?
I did type that. Okay. Let me exit. To exit something, a command that prompts you something, it's Control-C, and it kills the last command. So notice how I killed it. Sudo is a password required, and that I killed the last command. But if I go sudo and then the command, now it prompts you to put in the password.
So it's selected. I don't have to select it again.
I'm sorry?
Since it's selected, I don't have to select it again. I can just type.
You can just type, yeah. And notice how nothing basically happened, right? But
Yeah.
something did happen. LS is not there. And we move it here.
Oh, I don't see it.
Full session. Oh, we did move it to full session,
Yeah.
right? So it's here. Or is it?
No, we just moved the JS, not the folder. Because you moved,
Did it?
you just did the same thing I did.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. Damn. Look at me teaching the bad way.
You teaching me something I already know. How to fuck it up. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think so. So now you're gonna have to show me how I'm kidding. Because what I wanted to do was change
hmm
the whole folder. The session 3 folder, not the exercise. Because the exercise
hmm
is in the session 3, but the session 3 is not within Claudia's session. And now neither is the document.
Yeah, because I killed it by accident. So this is why I don't use that, because I have a little hard time with it. But this is my fix for it, right?
Yeah, but we can go back, right?
Yeah, we can go back because remember it was an empty file, so it really doesn't matter. So what I usually end up doing, I'm not even gonna lie, I drag them. I hate the move command because it would like I don't know it properly.
Can I try though?
Yeah, please.
Delete it. Okay. So wait, where are you? You're session 3. So
hmm
full session. Yeah. So wait.
hmm
Okay, so it's
But you wouldn't. Why would you want to go one back one?
because I am currently inside a full session. Oh, yeah,
Correct.
you're right. You're right. You're right. Because I'm already starting where I'm at.
hmm
Right. I. Have I ever told you that joke?
Removed it. I don't understand why.
What did I
See,
do?
this is no. I don't know. That's the thing. That's why I don't use this command that much. I I'm lazy and I drag.
Oh, wait, but I want to see what I did.
You didn't do anything. It removed it.
Oh, like it completely took it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to learn this one. I don't not really sure how to do it, but at the end of the day, let me show you what I would have done for that fix. Don't move the trash. So because what you ended up doing was this, right? Let me take over real quick.
Maybe that squiggly thing doesn't mean what we think it means.
Yeah, I think so. This is what you did previously. MKDR session underscore 3. And we're gonna CD into session 3.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
And we're gonna touch exercise underscore 3 dot
I
JS.
spell exercise.
Oh, I did. Or did I?
Yeah,
I think
it's
let
a
me
CI. SE. Right?
Oh yeah, you're right, actually. Look at that. Is that a Xer? All right, exercise 3.js. So
Yep.
all of that, all those commands now exist, right? If we look at our binder, session 3, exercise.js. Now, when I make the mistake because I put it at the wrong level, right?
Uh-huh.
If I put it at the wrong level, and I know it's like an empty file, right? So it's irrelevant, right? So what I end up doing is that I just simply remove the file as a whole, right? So I go back to full session, right? So now I got Claudia session and session 3. So but let me show you something real quick. Okay, dir test, last test. So if you do remove test, it removes the folder test, but only because it's empty. There's nothing in it. But if I do session 3, this tells you the directory. If I remove test, I'll still tell you that. So it's dash rf, which is the reference.
Okay.
And now I'm able to remove files, folders instead of files, because if I would have done
Wait, what is RF reference?
uh removal force, remove by force.
Oh, okay.
So it's a force removal, or yeah. So but if I would have done right, I can do remove test.js because it's a file.
Else it's just a directory.
Yeah, but since previously test was the directory, it won't work. You need the remove by force flag. So this right here is called a flag. This is a command, and this is a flag.
Why? Why is it called flag?
That's what they said to call it. Like it's a flag. So some commands have flags in between to make sure that you're doing the right thing. So like because this since test was a folder,
Yeah.
and it wants you to make sure that you understand that it's a folder, not a file, in case in those folder you have something else. That's what we get test as a directory.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second, I'm getting a phone call.
Mhm.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
So now what I would do in this case, right? Since I like you made that session underscore 3 outside Clouded session, and I know it's like empty and it doesn't really matter what's inside of it. So the quick fix for me would be remove by force session 3,
Don't you need
and
the light?
oh yeah, you do. Good catch. You need to initiate the flag. And then I would change it to Claudia session And then once I'm inside Clouded session, I'm gonna make a new directory, call it session 3. And I'm gonna change into session 3. And hold on, I need the and symbol right here, because that creates the chain. And again, touch, exercise, spelled it wrong again, _3.js, and it all pop in. Boom, session 3, exercise.
Yay.
And but the reason why this is you is because now this is telling you that this has not been tracked by GitHub,
Yeah.
because now this, whatever is going on inside of here, only lives in your machine.
Okay.
All right. Hold on, give me 1 second. No. No, you do it.
Do what?
What I just did.
Like
But I
make it.
cleared it. Yeah.
Did you delete it or do I make a session 4?
So make clear session 4.
Okay.
All right, give me a second. I'll be right back while you do that.
Okay. Mm. Where am I? Pablo. I still need to do this, homie. Okay. Hey. Mi amor, deja de hacer eso, por favor. And
All right, I'm back.
welcome back. Still working on this.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to chain.
I know, but this is the last one. I'm trying to see if I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. No, I'm misspelling now. Can't hang out with you. I don't think I did it right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not listing on here.
Correct, but look at your
And I just did the same thing again.
Mm-hmm. So delete them.
Okay. Oh, because I actually have to go into Claudia session.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Now you're understanding the levels, because there's levels to like your location level, right? Because you can go all the way into session 3, but you won't be able to access everything above it.
And then I didn't have to put make a deer for the exercise. It was like touch or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Also remove the other one.
Mm.
If you press tab, it auto completes for you.
You're right. Could I have done,
A chain? Yes.
and then did I have to initialize both flags and the remove?
Mm-hmm. So let me take over and then you can do it that way so you can practice it real quick. Oh, that works. Continue. Correct. See, now you're in actually Claudia session.
Okay, so. Creepy. Wait. Oh,
Yes, but no.
what? No.
So look at this.
Is this purple? Well, you don't like purple.
No. Session 4 is empty. Exercise _4 lives outside of session 4. Let me show you what that looks like.
They
You
need some
get,
from each other.
so you need to put it into session 4, right?
Oh, oh, I already know what I did wrong.
Exactly. So let me remove this real quick for you.
Oh, okay. La tercera y la vencida. Vámonos.
All right.
Okay.
So just
Would
for
it
practice sake,
everything?
no, just session 4 and the file name. So session 4
Yeah, so you did.
directory and then remove the file name. But I want you to always check this
Where?
right here because this is the level you're at. So I'm gonna send you back again to the start.
Wait.
That works perfect. That's an address, not a list of locations. To get a list is ls,
Yeah.
unless you know exactly where you're going.
Well, I know full session and listen when it's in there and I want to go to full session.
Are you
And then
sure it starts? Are you sure it starts with that one? I
Claudia.
always do ls to double check.
Yes.
Yep. If you do tab, it auto-completes it for you.
Okay.
All right.
Is it plural? No.
No. There you go. Now you're back at the Claudia session level.
Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't complete it.
No, because it doesn't exist.
Good. The one time I want to use it. Let's see. So I make that and then I go inside of that.
Yes, there you go.
Wait.
It doesn't complete because it doesn't exist yet.
Oh. Shit. And then I do that thing. No.
Boom, you did it.
Get it. Hold on.
She now lives inside of session 4.
Now it's happy.
And it that simple. It's
I
not,
mean, it
but it
wasn't
is.
simple, but it was. So
But
you
look,
literally like it's blind and you have to tell it.
right, because right here, let me take over.
I could do that.
it creates the file with this command and then runs this command and then runs this command. But technically, session 4 doesn't exist up here. So
Right.
you're chaining the commands. And
Mhm.
once that exists, now you can do ls again. Oh, let me go back one more. Now you have all of the sessions.
Yeah.
Now I want you to remove session 3 and session 4.
Okay.
Hold on.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I thought I could go forward several times by just forward slashing them.
No, you can't, because if there's multiple directories, how is the terminal going to know which directory to choose from?
When can you do that?
I mean, you can, but you have to make sure the address matches.
Um,
So that's a hint to what you were doing wrong.
okay.
But if you're,
Oh,
because I mean, hold on. Don't, I know you already remember the address, but it's not the one I was trying to teach you. Go back. Because,
Teaching me all these shortcuts.
all right,
You,
do not do and.
but I want to find my way there. Okay.
Exactly. But
On
this is a way to debug it and do ls. No, do ls. So if you forget what's inside that folder, correct? So now you can do Carlos session and ls. That way, if you don't remember where you want to go or remember the exact names, then it gives you a list right away.
But what if
Because
I
right. But I mean, like out of experience, I don't remember all of my exact paths all of the time. So this is the way to do it, like in a sense, quick without having to like try to memorize path, because you got other stuff to actually learn instead of what's in your local computer.
gotcha? So, cállate, Claudia, es lo que digo.
There you go. Yep. There you go. They're all gone in one single line and chain of commands,
Just like that.
just like that. But always remember this though: when you do a removal by force, it doesn't even go to your trash box. It does a full-on deletion,
Completely gone. So,
completely gone.
with it.
So when you do a forceful removal, just make sure you know what you're doing, because there's no going back.
Okay, homie. Sounds good.
Now, the final command is eventually your terminal's gonna get filled with whatever you're working on, right?
All right. Yeah.
In order to clear it, it's just about as simple as typing the clear command. And you press enter. Now, I want you to do it.
Oh. Ready for them? There you go.
That's it. But
And then
if you press up, One more up. Keep going up, up. You still have a list of your previous commands.
Oh,
And if you go back down, then you go back to the previous, so all the way to the bottom, which is an empty command.
oh, so it literally goes up the line. It doesn't cycle through.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? The same thing?
What is what?
Oh, okay.
So that trashes your terminal. And I think that might reset your terminal. So open up a terminal again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it trashed your terminal. But
So
it still brought you into Claudia's session because in VS Code, you're at this level. But
now,
if you
yeah.
go ahead.
Now it's gonna change the topic.
What's the topic before I decide to record, not record?
Oh, you're not recording?
I am recording.
Oh. Well, it was a session 0,
Mm-hmm.
that CD in the red box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but feel free to stop recording.
No. Go ahead.
That's it. What is that box?
I actually don't know,
Oh,
but it's
uh,
gone.
that was it. I was just curious.
I actually don't know. Let's find out. Want to bring it up? So CD appeared as a flag in VS Code. No, I only said that because last time we got off topic, and then I was like, I don't know record any of that.
Yeah,
Like,
I had
you're
a
good, you're
pause.
good. What's that even mean? I've never really seen that before. This is the command line interface. So compile. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to Google it on my own to give you a correct answer.
I was just
Let's talk about C++. So definitely not looking at correctly.
right.
C++, I really want to learn it, but I don't have that kind of time. Think
Ooh.
about the difference between JavaScript and C++ is that it's a much lower. So think of it like this, right? Your JavaScript code lives on top right here, right? But with C++, you're working all the way back here, which means that with your own code, you can allocate memory in your actual device. But if you run it wrong, you'll accidentally run up all of your memory. Like let's say if you have 1,000 terabytes, you'll accidentally use 1,000 terabytes and fill it up. So it's a really fast language because you can manage the memory and all of that stuff. But if you mess it up, you really mess it up. Google is ran on C++ and as well as Java. That's why they're like super like fast, but like I said, if you mess it up, you really mess it up.
That's intimidating.
Yeah, no, I mean it's intimidating, but I like it's more having to do with understanding the syntax because it looks completely wrong. Like different, not wrong, but just different. Like for example, right? Hello. In C++. This is all you would have to do to get to print hello world in C++. You have to include this package, create a function, and then call it like this way, and then it prints out hello world. And you have to return a value, which is 0. But don't even worry about this. It's a completely different language for for like making video games and stuff.
IO stream thing showed up in one of the TikTok videos came up on my FYP.
Yeah, don't go into this because it has nothing to do with JavaScript at all. This is C++.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then unless you're gonna be like, I don't know, like building video games or like full on servers, even then JavaScript you can build servers with. There's no, unless you want to go really deep into your actual device, then C++ is the way to go. But this takes like genuine, like maybe like a year or two to like hardly understand it.
I mean, JavaScript's taking a while, so I don't think they'll be there anytime soon.
Yeah, don't worry. Even I'm afraid of tackling it because I don't have that kind of time. But like a cool one like Python, it's much simpler.
What is Python used for?
Um, Data. So like it's easier to do math in. So it's used for statistics. So it's just print hello world. That's all it is. It's
Nice.
yeah. So hold on, let me, what's it called? I'm gonna stop sharing your screen and I'll show you some Python. That way it reads much, much different as well.
Okay.
I go ahead and stop sharing. Yeah, stop you stop sharing your
Sorry,
screen.
I thought you. I'm like, okay.
So let me now share my screen. This is screen 3. Share. Okay. Look, this is what my when I do git push looks like, by the way. But don't
Terminal.
the terminal, yeah. I just have a different. You can change your theme on VS Code, by the way. I like this dark one.
I was hoping you could help. I just went with whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
have like videos of teaching. They're like, I like this one. And I was like, oh, I want the purple one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I want one that's green. Can you help me find one?
Yeah. But let me show you Python real quick.
Oh,
So we
yeah,
can see
yeah.
what.
I don't mean like right now. I just mean like,
So I was working on some like calculus with this, and then this is like the equation to come out with points, right? But this is how you would do it in Python. So I'll create a multivariable, and it takes the n amount of inputs, and then it'll generate the values for a 3D graph. Let me show you what that graph would look like. All right, so we need what's the f of x, f of x, and y. I want that to be set to x minus 2 raised square plus y makes it squared plus 2. Right? So this is what that function does. This is a three-dimensional graph.
it's
I'm sorry, you're cutting off.
that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, so it's a three-dimensional graph. There's, so think of it like this, right? This is how you teach it in school. The green is the y, and then the x is the x, right? Y, x.
Yeah.
But in this one, there's 3 values and makes it 3D. And it gives it volume. So this is called a z index instead. And in Python, the way I did it was that I'm not, there's a way to actually graph it, but I'm just learning how to bring out the values. So if I want to call this function and run it this amount of times, it'll give me every single, let me see where I'm at. Sample test, and then CV, and then slash Python, and Python. Actually, is it like that? Let's find out. Let's Python. Oh, see, mine doesn't save. See the dot up here?
Yeah.
So I have to magic save it every single time. So this is gonna give me every single value. Right? So it starts at 0, 0. Then the C value of that is 10.
Of the whole structure.
Yeah, the whole structure. Instead of the points.
Yeah. Yeah, so like literally you could dot it out and
Dot it out, make it myself. There's an actual like package to do it. And this is what it looks like in JavaScript. The exact same thing. I bet it said I use a for loop. And then I nested the for loops.
wait, hold on.
So there's a loop within a loop.
I'm only 1, 2, 3. I'm only seeing 3.
So start at line 44 and then in line 51. So
Oh,
4, yeah.
you're right.
So C starts at the 4 and then X starts at 0. And then X is less than the amount of values that I want to input. So that would be N. And then increase X by 1. But before you do that, start at Y where 0 is, make it less than N, Y plus plus. So that's why it goes 0 through 9, and then 1 through 9 again, because then it increases the X value when this loop is completed.
By 1. And then the Y by 1.
Then the Y, and then a console log Z, which is the entire equation right here.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, pretty fun shit.
Right. Yeah, no, that's cool.
But notice how this looks kind of messy, right? Now compare this to a Python, which is much more clearer.
Wait, what was the one you were showing me before?
This is JavaScript.
Oh, no wonder it looks familiar.
Yep. And then this is Python.
All right, let me see.
It'd be line 40 through 45, the exact same thing. It's just different syntax.
Right.
That's all it is.
It's not bad.
But yeah, once I learned the actual, what's it called? It's the actual library. That's what it's called, a library. To graph it, I'll be able to plot in those points. Where's my Google Chrome? And I'll be able to make the 3D shape.
Say that again.
There's this library called Pandas for graphing, right? But you're able to plot the points using Python. But it's like you bring in a package, and then that package graphs it for you. You'll learn about packaging with JavaScript as well. But right now we're learning just vanilla. It's called vanilla because it's flavorless in a sense, like right. So that's what it's called right now. You're learning vanilla JS because you're not bringing in different libraries into it.
Oh my god. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm so immature.
But yeah, that this is just the difference between like Python and JavaScript basically. They do the exact same thing because you can do the same amount of math with both. It's just there's people who like go into like AI prefer Python
Why is that?
because of the math. It just reads. It's more simpler, like syntax. That's all it really comes down to. It's really much more simpler, and it's a little bit faster than JavaScript.
I'm just gonna get off track. I just wanted to know, how do machine learning and AI differ?
So machine learning, where is my pen? Machine learning, you have one
Oh
value.
shit, like a literal pen.
Yeah. Right? Think of it like at work, we have 3 coolers, right? One's a freezer, right? Let's put this to F as freezer. Then you have where all the meat is, right? And then you have the one where all the produce is, right? Right. Now, for example, as a front of house person, that the sauces tend to be right here, correct?
Yes.
In the middle freezer. Let me go back one. Let me change the color. Now, machine learning is saying, all right, I want to go get sauces. Is it in this one? Is it in this one? Or is it in this one? And then it goes, okay, sauces are in this one. And then it goes again. You go get another sauce. It checks again. Boom, right? So now you have, from the last 3 times that you've done it, 2 out of 3, this one works. So therefore, 0.66 repeated amount of times. This has been correct. This has been 0. This has been 0. Right? But you still have 1/3 of the options to pick from. So you're training the model to pick the correct one of them. So you inputted a bunch of like samples with answers, then it checks the answer and then makes adjustments to it.
That makes sense.
Now, the difference between AI is, let's clear it, clear all drawings. AI has already a trained model. So then you, as like the person, like ChatGPT come in, then you ask it a question, right? So with that question, has already been pre-prompted by somebody else or has a model that trained it. So then it knows to pick the one with the higher percentage. So like say like 1.5% chance that that's the correct one, but the other ones are like 0 or like 1. So it ends up picking the one with the higher percentage.
Okay.
Because yeah, so that comes down to statistics.
I see.
Yeah, so this is where I'm taking like the math course from UC Berkeley, so I can understand more calculus and statistics, so I can build my own brains.
So you can build what?
Like my own like machine learning models. I call them brains because there are like literal brains, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So the machine learning is the actual teaching it,
Mm-hmm.
and the AI is the whole thing all put together, like the personality gathering.
Correct. The information gather, yeah.
So, fun. So they are like relative in concept.
Right. Just one comes before the other.
I see.
Because you need to train the models or train the brains into whatever you want to do, and that's the machine learning part.
Yeah.
And then you release the AI.
To make its own like conclusions and deductions.
Correct. Based on statistics and percentages. That's when I read stuff about like AI going rogue, I'm like, I'm sure you let it into speaking like that because that what the AI is only doing is responding to the response with the highest percentage.
Yeah.
Not actually thinking about what it's doing.
Right. So you would have had to condition it, in other words.
Yeah, so ChatGPT, the way it works is that it guesses the next. So ChatGPT doesn't really understand what you're saying, right? It just takes a like let's say the color red, right? ChatGPT understands that it's this RGB value, whatever red is, right?
Yeah.
So then, and okay, it goes there. But if you like, say for example, try to convince it that red is actually the RGB color of blue, you are retraining the brain because it doesn't really understand. It just has an answer based on what you're talking about it. So like just like a person, like you lead them into a conversation.
Yeah.
So people who like reported about it, and if you read the transcript, you can legit see the personality of that person transferring to the conversation, and then ChatGPT mirroring it because it's going based on percentages.
That makes sense. Like what words they would use, what
Mm-hmm.
level it would be, what type of words. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm. So it's just guessing. It's just guessing the next word.
like autocorrect.
Exactly. So, for example, I have this. Hold on, let me turn off my pen. Clear exits. I have this extension. Oh, that was gonna clear
I
that.
want a pen like that, but I did not like. That's not what I thought was gonna happen.
So I can put on my webcam and all that.
Oh, wizard.
So
Yeah, I
look.
don't know. I thought you were just literally like reaching for your pen. I don't know, to write your notes. I don't know.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's just
So
not what.
like, let's see, what's a cool one? Let me just go to my site. Let me activate Grammarly. And so here's Grammarly, right? Notice how there's this G right here.
That picture with the dog.
Yeah, eating a hot dog. My little brother tried to like think of like something the AI couldn't draw.
Also,
But
he came up with it.
so
It's
so yeah, he's like, there's no way we would draw this very specific item. And I did it. It's Shiba Inu wearing a cowboy hat and eating a hot dog. So, right, back to the word like exercise, right? It's also all misspelled, but Grammarly is an AI that is checking your spelling live on the browser.
right.
So now I'm able to check it, and it's just the exact same thing is happening with the ChatGPT. It's just guessing, so you can misspell words, and it'll go like next to the most, which one looks the most common to it. It'll try to match it to another word that it's properly spelled.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that God with boobs?
Well, yeah, this is the prompt.
So it has boobs.
That's what the AI drew.
I'm sorry. I'm getting
You're
sick.
good.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I distract you.
And then like this one is first astronaut making soup.
That doesn't look like soup.
Well, I mean, he's putting in the stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And there's like a nuclear explosion happening in the
Right.
back. It's reflecting of his. But like that's all it really took for the prompt to work. And then that's actually pretty simple. Let me show you what that looks like. I did it in JavaScript, so you might be able to follow a little bit along. So I call this app to initiate it with the value of 0 automatically to start the app. And then if the value of the app if this value is set to 0, then in the terminal input this question for me. Then I'll be able to answer that question. And then once I'm able to answer that question, it creates a call to the AI. And these are the prompt, this is the information. A little too fast, but this is what it will eventually you'll end up doing. Just making calls. So the way this looks like, it's like this, right? It's pretty sure I'm the correct level. I am node image generator. So look, it's welcome. What can I draw for you? What do you want me to tell to draw?
This is how they used to make games before?
Yeah,
Computer-
in the terminal, yeah. But see, like I wrote to do this instead. 962. Let me bring this down so you can read more.
How'd you do that? Wait, what? Oh yeah, because it's welcoming you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
962. So let's follow the path of the code, right? So let me exit out of it.
Because it's at 0.
So yeah, I call the function, which I
Yeah.
call main app, and if the value is at 0, then prompt this message. If it's not 0, then do this message, because once I make the call here, I just call it over 1 instead, because it's no longer 0. Else do this. If it's 0, do this. Else do this.
Okay.
Yep. And then it makes the call, and then it creates the image, and then so this is an API. So think of it like if I send you a text message, right? And then you're gonna get like the phone number and the text, right? And then you send me back another text with a response, right? So in this case, I sent a text over to the OpenAI API, which is the company that I play with. And it's like the top one right now. This is the one that Microsoft has incorporated Bing with. So like Bing right now, you can use ChatGPT right away in it. So let's say explain multi.
They're using it as a form of search.
Mm-hmm. And then it's right here. No, that's not it. Where is it? Well, I think I have to sign in. Yeah, I think I have to sign into actual Microsoft. But you can use it as a form of search. Oh, here's chat. You have to create the full account. But if you have money right now, put money in Microsoft. I'm already 2 stocks deep in it. But
I don't know much about investing.
we can talk about investing. It's a whole other conversation. But you have to be willing to lose whatever money you invest. That's the number 1 rule.
But you what?
You have to be willing to lose the money you invest.
Yeah, it's just like gambling.
Yeah, it is like gambling. It's the exact same. So never invest money you need.
Yeah.
Not the point. But like, let's see, where is it? OpenAI for developers. Where is it? It changed the entire search. It changed the look of the website. I haven't been here in a while because I already know how to do everything. Where is it? Let me look like this. OpenAI docs.
It's just like the club. Once you got a girlfriend, you don't go back.
Here's the documentation. So, all right, so to get the image generation, here it tells you how to do it. So this is why you want to learn different like how to read code. This is done in Node.js, this is Python, and this is what you should make a call just to the terminal. So you can do a curl command through the terminal. So let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to copy his entire code.
Or in chat, not in chat, in GitHub.
Nope. In the terminal.
Is that where I saw it? Where did I see curl? Oh, you're right, in documentation.
So, okay, I'll make that call. Oh, I need to put in my authorization header. Hold on, give me a second. Let me do this.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Hold on, let me find my key real quick. Let me not record because that's really unsafe. Because yeah, so now let's say, for example, right, you wrote down that key. You can make as many calls as you want and you run up my cost. And cost means literal money or it means slowing down my server. So I'll show you real quick. I know the weather. That's their keys.
Oh, like when you inspect.
Yeah, when you inspect, this is API script. Let's see, I think they have their keys still available. No, they might have hidden them already. But they had their keys available, right? Whoever wrote the last code forgot to hide them.
Um,
And you can make endless calls. I mean, you're only getting the weather, but if you're a competitor company, right? That's
yeah.
this calls, then you create an endless loop, infinite loop that makes calls, and that's called a DDoS attack because eventually it creates denial of services and shuts down your server. Because think about it like if you have a blender, eventually it's going to overheat if you just
Yeah.
continually have it on. So so this is why you need to like hide your keys apart from like running up costs. Because if you have like let's say a server, like your own personal server, right? And it's continuously running, but you have it to be endless regardless and it overheats, like you'll cause your house fire to get on fire.
Yeah.
Because legit that's getting actual heat. Now you have actual extra cost.
Yeah.
So you never want to show your keys.
Or leave your lights on.
Yeah, practically. It's the exact same thing.
I was just playing with words.
Yeah, like you wouldn't give me your house keys if you don't know me, right? It's the exact same thing.
Exactly. But how did you do that? How did you say you gotta keep them where?
In the environmental folder,
Please.
here's how to do it from Free Code Camp. But see how like this is the private API key and all of that you called it, but you need to first understand what making an API call is. And it's a little bit more advanced.
No, I just meant like you were showing me in your files
Where it lives.
yeah, where it lives.
So it's .env. That's what it's called, and it's across the board. Just name of the file .env.
So just like the HTML or the JS
But there can't be a name in front of it.
or what?
She says env. It's not like test.env.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
Let me show you what a get ignore looks like. One more. Oh, I don't have a get ignore. That's bad. So a get ignore is I tell Git to ignore the following items, right? I wish I had one available so I could show you, but I don't. I think I have one here. Yeah, dot get ignore. So whenever I push to Git, anything that ends in these are ignored or not tracked at all.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You just have,
So
and you just keep adding as you see. Oh, fun.
and then I ignore the env files. So whenever I push to Git, it goes reads everything, right? And it goes, oh, it's a .env, skip it.
I see.
But
Cool.
yeah, I feel like this wraps up the session. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna upload the video and I'll put it again on the private YouTube link
Okay.
so you can review it and then go through the loops. It's annoying as hell, but it's about like forcing your brain to work differently.
I felt like this time around I kind of was like understanding more than last time.
Oh no, you did great. And you're also like tagging the terminal. And I'll be honest with you, it's a skill that not a lot of developers have,
Yeah,
but it's a skill that speeds you up.
I could see why. Because I feel like I didn't have it. I felt like the platform that I use, it's all there in one space. So I kind of didn't know how these things connected. And that was like partly the reason why I felt so, I guess, not up to
Overwhelmed
code.
because
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, how do I do, like, it's not automized for me. And it's good.
yeah.
I'm on my way.
I'm gonna give you a link to my previous boot camp.
Okay.
That way you can have an actual boot camp. Let me show you what the coding dojo. And I'm gonna give you access to this.
Oh, actual link. Okay.
Yeah, an actual, and I want you to go through the pre-boot camp web development.
Okay.
Actually, don't do that one. Where is it? Web fundamentals. Yes, web fundamentals. And let's see what this one with Will. This one, Marina. Back. Yes. This was my actual no, this was my class. No. This let me show you where I was. Because I think they're still recorded where I'm in class still. You can see my progress of like how I learned and like go from like 0 to hero in a sense. Yes, web fundamentals part-time online. So when you arrive, it'll look like this. Probably look like this. Units, right, like this. And then you're gonna go to web fundamentals, part-time online. And notice I've completed some of it, and some of it's not completed because I had a really hard time with it at first.
I feel you.
And then the lectures, and then just go through them. They're legit like my actual classes. And skip orientation because it's about like how to. Well, actually, no, don't skip it. If you want to, but it's not really that important. It's going to teach you basically how to navigate the site. But session 1, all of this, use Will's class, this one. Oh, there's still archives. There we go. This was my class. 1/11/2021 with Will. And then if you follow like bi-weekly, how it works, and then he will tell you the schedule right here. It's basically another orientation, blah, blah, blah. But pretend you're in class in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my actual old professor. I'm gonna say, yeah, and then here, once you, if you don't want to, once you do the lectures, right? So let's go back to this. Courses. Web fundamentals part-time online. You're gonna do an introduction. And it's gonna intro how to use the terminal and for Windows, like or Mac. And then here's gonna be exercises on how to do it, right? This was the one that I've submitted. You're going to look at the answers. And then this was an optional one, so I didn't do the assignment. I was like, fuck it.
Right.
And then also GitHub, how to set up GitHub, all that stuff, right? And then it goes into HTML and like actual like classes and stuff. And then there's also in the lectures, there's like what's it called? A full-on like 2-hour classes for it so you can follow along. And it gives you the HTML basics. Yeah. Yeah, this book can cost me 10 grand to complete.
Dang.
Yeah, and then I pay $50 a month to have access to this for life. And I pay a monthly subscription.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you can continue learning?
Mm-hmm. Because it also has other languages like Swift. Swift is for developing iOS apps. And like I said, I want to learn like Java or C later on, so I can do that as well. There's like more classes that I can access, but the only difference is that I won't have a teacher to teach me, but I have the courses available and different lectures to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got yourself through the main.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But right
crazy.
now, like I don't care to learn any other language other than like JavaScript or Python, so I'm just learning the math so I can do like machine learning.
Right. You're focused. You're honed in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but
Yeah.
that's what it is, right? Being a developer, like learning new languages and not
No, not
no.
learning new languages because there's like I think like 500 different languages. Think of yourself
I guess
as like as a restaurant, right? If you have 45 items in your menu card, do you feel comfortable eating at that restaurant?
if it's a Cheesecake Factory, yes, sir.
All right.
No, but
You
I
know,
feel like no.
you know how
I
they store all, do you know how they store all that food?
well, interest. Are you still recording us?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna climb.
Hold on. I'll stop recording then. You wanna talk shit?